Alright guys, so we are back with a second video, and if you've been following along, we are working on building Project Zima, which is a mobile focused app for walletless trading on Uniswap. So let's get at it. So what did we get up to last time? We got as far as working on this tokens page, and basically getting a predefined list of tokens to be displayed on our page. So this list, I believe, came from Uniswap, and we haven't done that much filtering on this yet. And we've also just used stub data for the price here. So I think this is something I want to do today, is to actually grab some prices from Uniswap for this. The plan of attack, I think, is we're going to get all the data from the blockchain itself rather than use an API. So we're going to start with maybe Uniswap V2 first, because that's a little bit simpler. We might think about maybe supporting Uniswap V3 later, and then potentially think about even adding in a couple other dexes. But let's just kind of go one step at a time. Uniswap V2, super simple math for calculating the current price. You kind of just take the reserves of one token, divide by the reserves of the other token. Simple in practice, but there's a lot of nuances involved, a lot of subtleties involved, especially because you're dealing with integer math, big int math rather here, rather than just kind of your regular floating point math. So we really have to kind of be very careful about how we're dealing with our decimals. So let's get started with coding this up. All right, is there anything I want to kind of clean up a little bit first? I think I wanted to kind of change this up here, this create next app title. Let's just make this something a little bit more palatable to what we have. Let's just call it Project Zima. Project Zima, and description, also Project Zima. We can update this to something more descriptive later, but for now I just want something that doesn't just say create next app. There we go, we got Project Zima up there on our browser tab. I don't know if you can see my mouse on there or not. Okay, so where do we get started? Yeah, we were using stub data. Here it was in our Uniswap V2 token card component. Before we can really move further with this, I think we got to make a couple more hooks for our Web3 calls first, using Wagmi under the hood. So what do we need? So we've got use read get pair here already. Let's make another folder for general ERC20, because we're probably going to need that. I think we're going to need getting the decimals. So why don't we make that let's call it use read decimals. Use read decimals dot ts k const use read decimals. Okay. Support default use read decimals. And how do we want to start with this? Let's go const. Let's just call it data, and we're going to use contract read from Wagmi under the hood. Contract read, yep. And what do we need here? We need the address. Okay, so let's put that as a parameter, the address of the token that we want. So let's call this token, which is of type address. Okay, address is token. We need the ABI, which is ERC20. Import. I think we've got this already in our ABI. Yep, ERC20. It is ERC20. Yep. Our function name we want, I believe it's just called decimals. And let's say, when do we want this to actually trigger? Only if 0 is empty address. I think I called it, yeah. it's not an empty address, then let's call it token. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and I think that's all we need. Yeah, let's see later. Oh, well, let's add in the status as well too, just in case. Okay. We're gonna need a couple other hooks as well too, but let's just start here. What other hooks do we need? Let's go to Uniswap V2. We need some hooks here. So we've got use read get pair from the factory. We are also going to need reserves, right? So let's get that. Yeah, use read. Let's call it get reserves, I guess. Whoops. Use read get reserves. Use read get reserves dot ts. So use read get reserves. Get reserves. Oh, what happened to my music? Let me turn that back on. Okay, so we use read get reserves. We are also going to be again using under the hood user contract read. Use contract read. Let's turn this one a little bit lower. There we go. And what do we need? This takes in, I believe, the pair address rather than the token address. So let's use the pair address. Pair address is of type address. Okay. Whoops. Let's get rid of. Actually, get rid of this. Activity bar. Okay. Read address is pair address. ABI is. Do I have Uniswap V2 pair here? Yeah, I do. Uniswap V2 pair. Does that work? Yep. But I like to put my external imports ahead of my internal ones. Just my own habits. Function name. Oops. I think it's called get reserves. And when we want this enabled is when this is not empty address, same thing. Pair address. Okay. And return this. Okay. Anything else we need? Oh, we might need the tokens as well too. Do I want to add that? Yeah, let's just add that now. I mean, I think I'm going to need it eventually later. So for Uniswap V2 factory, or rather for Uniswap V2 pairs, you always want to know which, it's a pair, right? So you got token 0 and a token 1, and you want to know which token Uniswap has defined as token 0 and which token Uniswap is defined as token 1. It's not. I think it's arbitrary the way that they do it. So you just have to figure out which one is which. So let's just get that. So let's call it use read token. I think we can fit both in here. So let's call use read token 0. Fit both hooks in here, or rather export const, I think. Use read token 0, and we will take in the pair address again. Pair address is type address. Okay. I think we can copy paste some of this stuff. I don't see anything wrong with doing that. Looks like it should be right. We need to do some imports. Use contract read from Wagmi, import Uniswap V2 pair, and is empty address. There we go. And we just needed to change the function name, that's it, to, we wanted token 0. Token 0. And we just return it. And we can do the same thing for token 1. And we just need to call this token 1. And I think that should get us far enough that we can maybe get started with getting the real price. So the price, let's go back to this Uniswap V2 token card to get that. All right, so what do we got? So we've got the pair. That sounds good. You know what? I'm just because of this own line because I don't like how long this line is getting. Const chain ID equals process.env.next public chain ID. Chain ID. What's we got? Oh, you know what? Let's not write this in here. Let's do another hook to get the price itself, because I feel like we're going to be using this multiple times, so I might as well build it as a hook rather than do a one-off. So let's do use read get, let's call it paired data. Okay. Okay, so const use read get paired data. Get paired data. And this will take in maybe token 0. Token 0, which is address, and token 1, which is also an address. And let's try to make it always gets the price of token 1 in terms of token 0. So let's say, for example, token 0 is WETH and token 1 is USDC. That would get us the WETH USDC price, which should be around, like currently as of this today, about $2,000. So I think, yeah, let's go with this. This gets a little bit tricky here, so let's see. First thing we need is the token address. So the pair address. So let's call pair address equals use read get pair token 0, token 1. Right. Import use read get pair. And we want to know, like I said, how Uniswap is actually labeling which token is token 0 and which token is token 1, because here is our kind of our user inputs. So why don't we call this const data pair token 0 equals use read get use read tokens are use read token of this pair address, or use read token 0. Whoops. Use read token 0. Use read token 1. Sorry, so here will be use read token 0 and token 1. And now we have what Uniswap recognizes as the official token 0 and token 1. Because we're going to need this to figure out whether we're getting the price of token 0 in terms of token 1 or the price of token 1 in terms of price of token 0. So we got to get this. Okay, and now I think we're ready to get the reserves. So reserves equals use read get reserves. And that's from the pair address again. And what else do we need? Let's get the decimals. Yeah, so let's see, pair decimals 0, and we'll use read decimals of pair token 0, right? And pair decimals 1, use read decimals pair token 1. And why are we getting this? Oh, because it could be undefined. Okay, yeah, okay, let's just put in an empty address here. That's fine. Right, and these won't fire if it's empty address. So it should be good. Now, what do we want to do? So, what do we need? Let's create a type here. Where can I put this? Let's go type. Let's just call it data. I think we're just gonna use this one time here, which is int. We need the price reserves. Let's return the reserve 0, which should also be a big int. Decimals 0. Is just going to be a number, reserves 1, which is going to be a big int, and decimals 1, which is going to be another number. There we go. So just to make this a little bit easier for us. So let's see. Okay, so all right. So if let's see, token 0 equals pair token 0, right? So if we were lucky enough to be correct with our token 0 and pair 1, and let's do both just in case. Token 1, it should match, but just in case, pair token and then let's do else if token 1 pair token 0. Actually, let's do it this way because a little bit OCD. Pair token 0. And let's just do this. I mean, just in case. We shouldn't get here, but just in case. And then let's just return undefined. All right, so now let's do the hard part. Okay, so let's see how what our data would look like here. Const data, which is a type data. All right, so price. All right, this is gonna be a bit difficult, but let's do the others first. Rev 0 would be reserves sub 0. Decimals 0 would be equal to pair decimals 0. Reserves 1 would be reserves 1. Decimals 1 would be pair decimals 1. And the hard one to get would be the price. So how do we want to get the price? Let's make a function. Let's do that up here again. Let's do let's call it get price. Okay, reserves 0. We need 0. We need reserves 1. let's go here. Decimals 0, number, and decimals 1, number. Right, that should be all we need. Okay, so first we're going to deal with the decimal math, which is going to be a little bit tricky. So let's get the difference between the decimals. Decimals 1 minus decimals 0, and because these are numbers, we can have negative, that's fine. Now, how do we convert this to mantissas? Which is basically 10 to the power of these zeros, right? You know what? Let's do this in the utils because I think we're gonna need this a lot more. Let's call it number utils, I guess. Let's call it that. So for const, we're gonna decimals to mantissa. All right. That takes in decimals, which is going to be a number, and returns us, it's going to be a big int. So I think we just do 10 to the power, but we need to do it in big ints. So we need to do big int of 10, because we don't do big ints times, big int math with big int math. Exponentiated to the power of big int. Oh, and it could be negative, so we want, decimals, yeah. Cannot be, unless target, okay, fine, let's do that. I gotta change up my TS config. Let's use ES5. What have I used in the past? Let me just check my other projects and see what I use. Okay, ES2021. That should work also. That should be new enough. Let's see, does that go away? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that works. Now we've got this. Now we've got this decimals to mantissa. And we can use that back here. So let mantissa decimals equals to sorry, not decimals. Let's do decimal diff equals to decimals to mantissa. Import that of oh, this could be negative though. Let's just do math abs of this. I think that's fine. Decimal diff should be fine. And we can't just do so. This should, using this mantissa, we can get our token 0 reserves and our token 1 reserves to have the same number of decimals, but we also need to decide to have a convention for how many decimals our price is going to be, right? Because you've got some tokens that have like that decimals aren't that important, like for example, like Bitcoin, right? It's like right now it's about 37,000, I think. You know, and most people want to show like 1 decimal place. But you've also, on the other hand, got like stuff like Shiba Inu or whatever, which has, I don't know how many zeros, like 10 zeros, sorry, 10 decimal places before you hit the first non-zero number. So we got to handle that. Let's make a convention. Let's say we're gonna have 18 decimal places for all prices, which 18 seems to be kind of the magic number for a lot of Ethereum tokens. So let's stick with that for a price as well. So we put that into maybe our config. Let's make some magic constants here in our config. So and let's call this export const decimals for price. It's gonna be 18 decimals. All right, so let Mantissa price equals to decimals to Mantissa decimals price. All right, so now we've got, I think we've got all the ingredients that we need. And let's see, we're either going to multiply or divide by the Mantissa decimal difference based on whether decimal difference is positive or negative. Yeah, so decimal diff greater than equal to 0. Else. All right, so what are we going to do here? Gets a bit tricky. Let me figure it out. So return reserves 0. So we're going to do all our multiplications first before we do our division, so that way we don't lose any precision. Multiply, so decimal difference is positive, which means Mantissa, we want to multiply by the decimal difference, I think. And we want to multiply by Mantissa price, and then divide by reserves 1. I think this is what we want. All right, and then the other way around, reserve 0, Mantissa price, divide by Mantissa decimal difference, divide by reserves 1. Does that look right? Does that sound right? Does that make sense? I think it does make sense to me. Let's just try it. We might have the wrong thing, but let's see if we got it. So price is going to be we'll call this get price function, and here in this here we are right. So we would 0 this pair decimals. We want to use pair decimals. Oh, I think. Oh, there's a lot of combinations here. And I think. Oh, you know what? We might. No, I think we might want this. I think this, and then reserves. All right, let's just try it. Pair decimal. We could be wrong, but let's just go by it. Okay, so why is this? Oh, could be undefined. All right. What can we do? Okay, let's wrap this into everything. If let's see if any of this data could be undefined, I guess. So pair token 0 or pair token 1 or no reserves. Or if the reserves are 0 or reserves 0, 0 or reserves 1, because we don't want to do any division by 0. And then pair decimals 0, pair decimals 1. Okay. All right. Else. There we go. That should get us what we want. Yeah, there we go. Got rid of all of that. And then in this case, we would probably just want to return undefined. All right, getting somewhere. And in the other case, let's copy paste this. And we just want to reverse all of this. So reserves 0, pair to decimals 0, reserves 1, pair decimals 1. Does that sound right? That sounds right. Pair reserves 1, pair decimals 1, reserves 0. So in this case, we were wrong. We've kind of reversed our order of how we did our tokens versus our token 0 and 1 and theirs versus how Uniswap is doing their token 0 and token 1. So just gotta reverse it back. And let's just return this. Return data. That's the same thing up here. Oops. Return data. Are we good? I think we're good. Let's try it. So we're always getting the price of tokens 1 in terms of token 0. So let's remember that. All right, let's try it. Oh, but you know what? I can foresee we're going to run into an issue as well. But it's fine. Let me just do this first. Data. Let's use read. Get pair data. I called it. Use read get pair. And it's because I didn't export this, isn't it? Yeah. Whoops. Let's see an auto use pair data. There we go. All right, autocomplete for the win. All right, so what do we want? Yeah, so there's an issue because these pairs are generally the token on one side, and usually it's against WETH on the other side, right? So actually what this price is going to get us, it's going to get the price in terms of WETH, which is not what we want. You know, on our display, you know, the human readable form, we want price against dollars. So not only do we need to get this price here in terms of WETH, but we also need to get the price of WETH to dollars. So a couple of steps we got to do. But I think this should be pretty easy. Let's see. Let's get the price. Okay, so it's always giving, so the way that we structured this function, it always gets us the price of token 1 in terms of the price of token 0. So we want price in terms of WETH, which means the first token we want is WETH, I believe. So let's put in WETH here. And then the second token would be our token, which I think is just called address here. Okay. Oh, whoops. All right, and that gets us the price in terms of WETH. And what do we want next? I can run the same function here and get WETH USDC, but what's going to happen is we're going to make a bunch of calls again to the blockchain for this particular card. And look how many cards we've got here, right? Which means we're going to make a lot of calls to the blockchain, which probably is not the most efficient thing we want to be doing. And not only that, I think we're probably going to be needing the WETH USDC price quite frequently. So I'm thinking, why don't we just we can either get a data from we can kind of get from or let's set it as a context maybe. So so basically like a context, so we can read the WETH USDC price anywhere throughout our app, which is probably going to be pretty useful, I think. It might probably pay off in the long run. So let's just do it. All right, so let's see how our project structure, our folder structure is looking. Let's add in another one on here, which is we're going to add in contexts. All right. Yeah, there's a lot of plumbing here just to get the price to show up, but it will pay off because I think we're building a lot of components that we are probably going to be using quite often. So hopefully it'll be okay. What do we want to call this? Let's call this maybe prices context. I don't know if I like this name or not, but let's just go with it for now. Okay, so import create context from React. Oh, whoops, no, not from here. Create context from React. Okay. So what would it look like? Let's just say let's just have WETH USDC here for now. Define could be undefined. Export const prices context, which is of type. Oops, not this one. It's create context of type context. Right, yeah. With USDC, and then we get an initial value of undefined. All right, that's good. So we got the context, and let's make a provider for it. Excuse me. I guess we'll call it prices provider. Yeah. Prices provider. Okay. Const prices provider, and we're gonna have children. I always forget how this one goes, but let's just copy paste this from our app layout. We need all the children. Take that. Prices provider. That looks good. Import React node. Why? Oh, okay, I just need to add that. Okay. And how are we gonna, what do we need to do? We need to set the WETH USDC price. So now we can call our hook from use read get pair data, and we want WETH in terms of USDC. So we need our contract addresses. Yeah, we're getting close. All right, let's do this. Contract addresses. Contract addresses. Okay. Const chain ID process dot end dot chain ID next public chain ID contract addresses chain ID contracts. We want WETH in terms of USDC. So WETH. Do we have WETH? Just to make sure we have that. Yeah, we do, right? Okay, but we do need USDC. So we're going to have to update our config. Oh, we have USDC here. Okay, great. It's already in here. Contract addresses. I think this is going to work. Chain ID, contracts, USDC. We need that gets us what we want, I think, and we will just return the provider. Let's see. Need prices context. Okay. I believe the syntax is like this. Value is called it WETH USDC, right? I think it was. Give it data dot price. Does that work? Does that look okay? Maybe not. But let's just close this first and then return the children inside and then see what's going on. Oh, right, data could be fine. Okay, let's do that. So that way it should work. Okay. And then export default prices provider. And we are good. But rather than have like a different wrap our layout in all these different providers as we get more and more providers, I like to just have like a single provider for my internal context. So I'll just call it context provider, where I just have all my context in here. So context provider, just to make things a little bit more neat in our layout. And let's have some of these here. For code clarity. Just a personal preference. You guys don't need to do anything like this. And yeah, let's render also here. We'll do prices provider. And then we've got to do the children. Oh, not render, return, I mean. Get in the children, which just copy paste this. Okay, should be good. Export default context provider. Are we good? I think we're good. Yeah, let's try this. And it's okay, so let's go to our layout and wrap everything inside a context provider. Context provider. Children inside here. Just clean this up a little bit. All right, we got an issue here, which is, nope, we're good. Oh, no. Marked with, oh, okay, right. Okay, so we need some use clients. Okay, where do we need that? Maybe here? Create client, create context rather, use client. Does that fix anything? Come on. Use read get pair. Does that also need to be okay, so let's get our hooks. Gotta put like use read client for a whole bunch of random things. Use read get paired data. I think maybe if I just wrap this in a use client, is that what I need to do? Seems. Oh no. Use read get pair. Is it? I'm just gonna try it. Never really know. No. Use read get paired data. This also needs to be use client. Do I need to just use client for all of these? Is that right? Let's see. Getting close. Prices provider. All right, let's go there and throw in another use client. Very liberal with our use clients. Oh, getting somewhere. All right. Okay, so everything is loading now. Now we just need to try. We're getting close. I feel like we're about to render our price pretty soon. Where did I want to go? Got our components, tokens, our token card here. We've got the pair data already. Now we want the price in USDC, right? Okay. All right, let's get it. Const price in USDC is, let's see, it would be, let's get with USDC first. Right. Let's. or you know what? Maybe let's do it up here. Let's do it up here and just pass it on. Okay, so let's create context here. Context and prices context. There we go, and we'll make that a field in here with USDC equals to with USDC, which is what is that type again? It is of type big int or undefined, which is fine. So we'll have in with USDC here, which is big int or undefined. Does that work? You like that? It doesn't like that. What am I missing? Uniswap V2 token card. Oh, because of this. Well, yeah, obviously. I'll just delete this just to make sure. Yeah, looks like it'll be good. It's just loading very slowly, which is a bit strange. But let's just move forward first. Let me figure this out. Back to the price, which would be one here also with USDC. With USDC times decimals to Mantissa of so we got to do this because both of these are going to be in whoops dot right no, it's a price already, right? Okay. Pair data dot price or undefined, and let's rather than using the word oops what are we missing here? Yeah, this could be undefined, right? Yeah, that's why. And the same for pair data. So pair data and with USDC, which is this. Whoops, not or undefined. It's fine. I think we can do that. Yeah. Let me change this. Refactor this to price pair data. It is under hooks. So V2 get paired data. Instead of calling it price, we call it PX just to save a couple of characters because I know this means price. There we go. And we should actually call this as well too. Rename this local function. Rename simple get PX. All right, that looks good. Right, what are we missing here? Whoops, price. Better. All right, let's clean up some of it. Oops. That's good. Why is this screen stuck on loading though? That is a bit. Oh, okay. No, I just need to refresh that. That's fine. And what can we do here? I think we're ready for the price. It might look a bit. Oh, it might look a bit funky, but let's just render it first just to see what it looks like. Let's do that. Let's make it bold too. And we're ready for the price, which is price in USDC. This is a big int though, right? Isn't it? Yeah, dot to string. I just want to see what this looks like. We're gonna have to like fix this later because this is not gonna look very pretty, even if it works. But it looks like it's working. All right, we got some numbers here. Yeah, but obviously they don't look very pretty. But I just want to make sure that we get some sensible numbers here. Let's look at let's look at USD. Yeah, so yep, USDC is the yeah that looks great. Some of these are undefined, which we might want to get rid of some of these actually because it's not always. Yeah, all right, I want to do some filtering here actually. But it looks like the prices are right. I can recognize some of these prices. Look good to me. Okay. So if there is no pair, right? Or no pair data, or no WEP USDC, or no price in USDC, then return. All right. Else return this. All right. Can we do that? Okay, and so we're going to need to clean up this. We're going to need to format this rather. So let's go into our utils. We'll make a util function out of this. Got some ideas on how I want to do this. Let's put it under number utils, I guess. Okay, number utils. So how to attack this, right? Because how many decimals do we want to display was the question, right? If we have something like BTC doesn't really need that many decimals, but if we got something like Shiba Inu, it needs a lot of decimals. So the way that I do this is let's make a function first. Let's call it pretty format. No, let's call it what do I want to call it? Actually, you know what? Let's put it in a string utils. This is more like a string than all right. Sport const format price. We need a price, which is going to be in big int. All right. And I'm going to have something here which I call the min tick percent. That's 45%. And that will be what is the minimum sensitivity, minimum number of significant digits that we would want in terms of like a tick percentage, right? So this number might be something like 1%. If we want only 1% sensitivity, we'll basically look for kind of the number of significant digits to kind of tick 1%. I'll just write it down if it makes more sense. I have this from some prior projects, so I have it done already actually. So parse float of, I'm going to use format units of price to decimals price, right? Format, we know that our price is coming in at 18 decimal places, so we can make that assumption. Now we are, min tick equals to price times min tick percent. All right, this is our minimum tick, and decimals equals 2. We are going to do 1 over min tick, which gives us, what does that give us? The no, we need the decimal places, so we're going to do math.log 10 of this, right? That's going to give us number of decimals, and we need to make this into an integer. So let's do math.ceiling of that, all right? Decimals equals, and let's give it a minimum number of decimals, which is at least 2. All right, and return. show this many decimal places. This is just our formatting, and we should have some nice formatting after this. Back to our card here. Now we don't need this anymore. Why did I have this? Oh, I think that was before. Okay, anyway. Format. I'll call it this instead. Just for consistency. Price. And we gotta give it a sensitivity here now, which is, let's go with, all right, let's try 0.5%. See how that looks. Import. Did I have these string utils already? I did have string utils. Oops. All right. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's what we want. Okay, that's looking good. All right. And you can see here by the sensitivity that I use, like that increases or decreases the number of decimal places. Like for example here, you know, these all look pretty reasonable actually because I put in a reasonable number. But let's say for example we put in like you know, like this. All right, you're gonna see a lot of unnecessary decimal places for some of these, which is a bit overkill in terms of like a display. Yeah, see, we don't need this many decimal places or something that only really, you know, we would probably say like, you know, we'd only want like 2 to 3 kind of like significant digits here, where same thing here, basically everything. Whereas on the other hand, if we did something like, you know, here, we wouldn't have enough decimal places. I find like 0.5% is maybe good. I mean, we can change it up as well too. Maybe, now let's go with 0.5%. Yeah, like here, well, we have minimum of 2 decimal places. But for example, this, or we look at the really small, oh, I don't know what's going on here for this token. Somebody's kind of, yeah, like some of the, yeah, some of these you might want a few more decimal places, right? A few more significant digits. So that's why too big is not good either. I think 0.5% is kind of like gives us just the perfect range. And what happened to our dollar sign? Oh, we can't do this. Can we? Let's do this. Do it this way. Get our dollar sign back. One more refresh. All right. Yeah, pretty good. Okay. So, all right. So we did a lot of work here. We did a lot of plumbing just to change this number from like, you know, a static number into now we're actually getting the real prices. But it's looking pretty good right now. And I think I want to stop this stream here right now. But we can keep moving on next time. We add a bit more data onto here. There's a couple more like maybe data points. Maybe we want to see like the liquidity numbers or FDV or something. Can we get the FDV? Yeah, something like that. But get a little bit more data showing for us on this page. And maybe we can start working on these other pages as well too. Because right now we're clicking into these tokens and we don't get any, we're actually getting anything, right? We probably want to have a trade page that takes you to the token, the one that we select. There's a lot more stuff we need to do, but it's a good start. We're getting somewhere. All right, I'll see you guys in the next stream then. And if you liked what I'm doing, make sure to like and subscribe to let me know to keep going. Really appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot. All right, bye-bye.